We the top 10. UGK the major way, not play it don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time until the clock near. Bands on road, we doing digi to the whole block clear. Yo, what you got there? Oh, did you not hear? Indies taking over and we got the whole shop, yeah. Her, she wanna know me better, but I'm on the top 10. Gotta match my energy, you see I'm in the top, yeah. Yeah, it's top 10. Hey, now I'm in blessed mode, did you forget, bro? Put G.O.D. first and nothing less, no. On a radar per release, per request, yo. Life is like a dice game, that's a bet, though. Is you bugging, that's a dub. Shoulder shrug to the stub. Tell them hit the squatty up. See a line of cars meet up. Nah, don't bother us. Windows fogging up. If she in a passenger, then you know she finest. Damn. It's really still a bros and my blood love. All is all love. AWD, I got a newer clutch. And my guapi up, you could call me up. Since you know the face and the name, this is us. We the top 10. UGK the major way, not play it don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time until the clock near. Bands on road, we doing digi to the whole block clear. Yo, what you got there? Oh, did you not hear? Indies taking over and we got the whole shop, yeah. Her, she wanna know me better, but I'm on the top 10. Gotta match my energy, you see I'm in the top, yeah, it's top 10, hey. Yeah, I heard you knocking, but my nigga, I am not here. Watch out for the company you keep, cause people mad with. I will pull up on you and address it, I am not scared. We just looking down on these niggas from the top stairs. We been dropping back to back to back, but it don't stop here. People love to tell me their opinion, I do not care. I know that we keep
One, two. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet. Unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up.
Hey. Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like
Helps to have our cameras go when we start the stream, John.
It does help, huh?
Episode 381 of the PHP Ugly podcast. Today is May the 2nd. Happy day late birthday to the current wife. With me today is John Congdon.
Hello. Excuse me while I pet my Oscar.
Sounds like a private matter. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We are a podcast that focuses on the PHP programming language, the PHP community, and our company, PHP Architect. We are two real-world live developers who code for a living and make a living doing it, despite not being very good at it. Oh, wait, were you going to say something else? Sorry about that.
No, it's just...
You can be part of this show by joining us in our Discord at discord.phpugly.com. and live chat with us during the show, which is actually not up. We probably should put that up on the screen. Boop, there it is.
Probably.
And stay in there all week long because some really smart people in there, great people to talk to, hang out with, fun group of people. Got to meet a few of them recently. Show's made a little better thanks
would you
to some
meet people at?
sponsorship. Honeybadger.io. Don't step on the sponsorship ads there, John. Sponsorship thanks to Honeybadger.io and our supporters on Patreon.
And also, PHP Architect.
And PHP Architect. Yeah, I always forget that one. We need to come up with a little commercial to run during the show too. I don't know. Been pretty casual, laid low sort of couple of weeks, John.
Just took last week off just because we didn't want to stream. Kind of very
last
relaxing.
Weeks off actually, but yeah, not much happened. Not much happened at all.
So it's been 3 weeks since we've recorded. 4 weeks since
you
I've
recorded. Yes.
Yeah.
There was an uprising of whether or not you would even come back, John.
Your episode without me was great. I don't think I should be back. I'm just saying.
It did trend pretty high there on the YouTubes.
I'm fine with that. You bring
I got it covered. We're gonna talk. We can talk about that as well. But yeah, I don't know, man. What you been up to? How was Mexico?
Oh yeah, we haven't talked since then, have we?
No, I feel like we have. Right?
We have too.
We must have. We had to have talked.
I think we have. We have.
Yeah. I was trying to be funny.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second. We had to have talked since then.
All right.
Obviously, Oscar. PHP Tech 2024 was last week. I'm sure we'll talk quite a bit about that. And
100%.
we have a Trello board full of stuff to chat about. But before we get to any of that, how was your week?
I don't know how much
I talk about.
Yeah. It's been a dicey one, John. Just trying to get back up to speed. I mean, I understand Tech was only a week long, but even leading up to Tech, so much time was focused on getting those last minute things done. And then to come back on Monday and really pretty much have nothing but work to focus on. It was man, trying to get back into the groove of things. It's been an exciting week so far.
Well, you say that we got back, and then Monday was the 29th, and we still hadn't had the magazine out. So I couldn't even dive back into work the way I wanted to. I took my meetings in the morning, and then tried to focus as much as I could on the magazine, and still got it out super late Tuesday, which was the last day of the month. So
yeah, it was rough. That was a rough one.
I'm going to harp on all the writers and contributors. Speaking of, if you want to write for PHP Architect, please hit us up, WRITE at phparch.com. We're always looking for articles. We will pay you for your article as long as it's, somewhat well written, not AI generated, and we find it beneficial to the community.
Yeah. If you did not join us at Tech last week, you did miss a live rendition of the PHP Ugly.
I have it ready if you wanna.
No, you don't. Do you really?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I don't see how we don't play this.
Let me see how I can. Can I share it? Yeah, share it. Oh, not tab. Share a window. Share this. Will it share the audio? Is the question.
That's the question. So unfortunately, it's a acapella. What happened? Oh, yeah. It's a acapella because somebody was a little impatient and didn't want to wait for the music to get cued. But yeah, this is happening.
The music was cued. Nobody talked to me and said, "Hey, we can't get the audio working." It was literally plugging an audio jack together. I was like, that's all I had to do, but I didn't know what was going on. All right,
It's all right. I'm pretty sure
bring it in.
Harry Mack might copy strike us on this one anyways. Do it.
Now, let me know if the audio is coming through.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah, no audio.
Oh man,
no audio.
All right, you carry it for a second. Let's see if I can get audio hijack going.
Yeah, no worries. I think, isn't there like a share system audio or something when you share a window?
There was share tab audio.
Gotcha. You should upload that baby to YouTube real fast. Can't take that long to encode. All right, so while John tries to figure this out real quick, ran into some great people. I see C Money's in Discord. Got to meet C Money in person. Got to meet Alex. And Sevi was there, which Sevi, of course, is the one who won the ticket.
And he almost didn't show up. I couldn't believe that when he told me that.
Oh, really?
I love talking to him, and I understand that anxiety, and I'm so happy. Like he was so grateful to be there. It was so awesome talking with him.
Yeah.
But he was telling me how, he was so nervous about it because he doesn't do it professionally. It's a hobby for him. And afterwards, he's so happy that he went. But he said it was his girlfriend who pushed him, saying, "No, you need to go." And Sevi, so happy you were there. It was awesome meeting you, talking with you. It's great.
Yeah. A-Woods in our Discord also donated because A-Woods had purchased a ticket. So Sevi won a ticket by an anonymous person who donated that ticket. A-Woods had purchased the ticket in Discord, got selected to talk. So they got a ticket comp to them. And instead of asking for a refund, just said, go ahead and give the ticket away. And we found a college student in the Chicago area who was being introduced to PHP, and like they'd reached out to me and said, "Hey, can I just get can I get a discount on a 1-day ticket?" Actually, got reached out to me through a proxy. They wanted a discount on a 1-day ticket because they were a student and didn't have a lot of money. I'm like, I can do one better for you. If you promise me you'll be there, I can give you a full pass, compliments of one of our attendees. And so they got the full pass. I was really happy that we were able to utilize it that way. So yeah, got a couple of free passes out this year. That was fun.
Nice. So that video is now up and it is processing. So if you know how to bring it in, or I guess I could do it in a tab. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. I was just gonna bring it in a tab.
Yeah.
But it may not be able to play until it's done processing. I'm not sure.
Right. Yep.
All right. I tell you what we'll do. We'll buy some time. Let's drop into a sponsor here real quick. We got a new sponsor ad, and we're gonna play that and buy us a little time. See where we're at when we get back. Hang out for a moment. We'll be right back.
More about wide events in the context of application logs and observability lately. A wide event is just a collection of properties that may be useful later. The more the better. Think about all the context around a web request. The wider your events, the better prepared you'll be for unknown unknowns, those sneaky bugs that you can't anticipate. Observability isn't rocket science, but the industry likes to pretend that it is. Honeybadger.io is challenging the assumption with Honeybadger Insights. Honeybadger's approach to observability is simple. First, log everything with wide structured events. Then, query and graph your events with BadgerQL, the powerful query language at the heart of Honeybadger Insights that allows you to ask questions about your systems and build quick charts and dashboards. Install Honeybadger today and be fully prepared to navigate the unknown unknowns of your next incident. Visit honeybadger.io to learn more. That's www.honeybadger.io. Thank you, Honey Badger.
Thank you, Honey Badger. I'm really looking forward to giving that a try. We had some recent needs for that.
Yes, I started looking at it, and it looks very interesting. I mean, I've used other services like it, and it seems like it has all the same features and at a better price. And like they say, made for developers, not just your ops team. I had fun. I had fun. They gave us like 4 or 5 different ad reads, so I had fun recording those today.
I don't know, John sends me like four recordings, and of course me, and it's like an hour before the show, so we had like no graphics or anything. I'm doing screen grabs to kind of throw together the little clip, and then I play it for John at the very. Actually, I don't even play it. I just make sure that it had encoded and everything when we get.
You
right
played
before
like
we
2
play.
seconds of it, yeah.
And John's like, "Oh, you went with that one, huh?" That's the last one you sent me. He's like, "No, I sent you like 4 different ones." I'm like, "I didn't go through and critique them all. I just grabbed the last one, man." Yeah, Corey, we would never throw you under the bus. Corey was a fantastic help leading up to the conference. At the conference, I am sharing a picture of Corey. If we're sharing things with Sarah, I'm sharing one of my favorite pictures from the conference. Let me just blow this up.
While you do that, thank you, Tim Lytle, for taking photos for us. I could not be happier that we have photos. Just so you know, Eric, he told me for next year he wants to upgrade his DSLR setup, and for us to give him a list of pictures we want, because you and I didn't get any pictures together. Pictures of the team. He's like, yeah, just tell me, give me a list of shots, and I'll make it happen. I'm like, thank you. Like, he already does so much for us in helping set up and tear down, and then to do this on top of it is so nice.
I mean, honestly, we would not have gotten through that first year without him. Like, without his knowledge and his help, we wouldn't have. Now, we do have a little bit of an AV expert on staff now, which was nice. It was funny watching those two geek out over things. I'm like sitting there listening to them talk about like cables and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know how my wife feels now. Yeah, it does suck. All right, so Corey it's been fantastic in helping us out with social media and helping us out at the conference, as well as running karaoke night.
And congratulations on your new job, by the way.
Oh yeah, congratulations. Try to hold on to this one, will you? No, just kidding. She wasn't fired. This is Corey's like little nesting area in the main ballroom. She would sit in the back in one of the inflatable chairs and start, I don't know, is that crocheting or knitting? That's crocheting, right? I don't know what the difference is, to be honest with you.
I think it was crocheting.
Yeah. Making things while learning things. It was fun. I went back there once, and I'm like, I go back there and I know, like, you're always running through and like checking on things, and I always caught out of the corner of my eye that Corey was sitting in the back of the ballroom. And I'm like, oh, cool. You know, they're taking in some talks and getting, something out of the conference, and good. And I'd go off. And then I always kind of noticed that kind of sat always in the same. I'm like, why sit like those are fun chairs, but like sit up in the table. Like, and then I saw that there was something in their lap. And then I finally saw them like, they're not even paying attention. They're like doing like a crocheting knitting thing. What the hell?
Corey did say that she was able to pay attention even better, because just almost mindless, even though she's making something amazing, being able to absorb the conversation or what was being said on stage while doing it. So was paying attention, wasn't just in there to crochet. But Kenrick, and as Bucky was saying, those chairs are dangerous during certain talks. Yeah, they're not necessarily just talks, also certain times, like right after lunch, you get that little food coma, and then you're just like nod a little bit. I found myself at one time, because I try to socialize at these things, so I'm often up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning just talking, and then have to turn around and be back up, for the keynote the next morning, make sure things are make sure registration is open up and like the team is ready to go. So I think it was the end of day Thursday probably where I found myself like, oh crap. Because I was kind of running the ballroom as far as the camera and the stream and sitting up in front
Yeah.
of everybody. And like, crap, I'm going to start snoring in front of people. This is going to be bad.
All right. So all in all, we've kind of led into tech, but without really covering tech. Thoughts and opinions on how well tech went this year?
Out of 10, I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Well, that's
And
about where I put it as well.
yeah, like there were a handful of things that I agree with and I didn't agree with as far as what went well, what didn't go well. Can't even talk right now. All in all, we had way fewer technical issues than we've had in the past. No COC violations. You know, we were 2 for 2 up until this point. None this year, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Small things like, you know, I did go back and look at the contract from the hotel. I screwed up the food. Like that was on me. They put in the contract that the food would be set out at 12 and we didn't schedule lunch for everybody until 12:30. So people were in talks. So sometimes the food sat there. Like some people were eating because they didn't go to that 30-minute talk. They were a little upset that, you know, the food was sitting out for a while.
Yeah. It's weird because all we had to do was like cancel the 30-minute talks and we would have been on schedule with that. But it almost helped, right? Like people might have been upset because they're like, oh, the food's been out for 30 minutes. But you know what? Had everybody hit those buffets at the same time, you would have waited 30 minutes to get your food anyways.
Right.
This was kind of cool because there was like this wave of people like who weren't going to a 30-minute talk that were like, oh, hey, the food's out, let me get my food. And then when the people came out of the 30-minute talks, and not all of the 30-minute talks ended at the same time, but when they started coming out, they would go and get their food. So like there was never this crazy line to get food. Like there
last
normally
year there
is.
was. Good point. And it wasn't in the food being cold wasn't even necessarily the fact that it was sitting out. I heard a couple of the dishes were just plain out not cooked long enough. Like the deep dish pizzas, there was like the cheese in the middle wasn't even melted.
Right.
So
the food being out, as far as like the changing the warmth of the food when you ate it, really didn't matter because like the food that was meant to stay warm, they had on heaters. The other food, like we had sandwich stuff once that was meant to be cold anyway. So yeah, it's not like they put like the food out on a plate and then you went 30 minutes later. But yeah, the pizza was kind of a flop. We've actually already talked to them about that one.
Yeah, we definitely raised all this with the hotel. There were other things like having that vegan gluten-free buffet was nice as far as I was concerned compared to last year with the options. But again, it's not something that's on their everyday menu. It was something they did special, so it's not something they do. It's like if we do it there again next year, they already said we can do a Zoom call with the chef and actually talk about options, like seasoning, season the damn stuff. You're so liberal with salt and pepper on everything else. The vegetables could just use some seasoning, and it would have been so much better.
But yeah, things went well. The stream was almost flawless. We had one little bug from last year that we did not address as far as the magic link to log in, which I finally corrected, I think on Wednesday. But, of course, the conference started on Tuesday, and that's when like the flood of people were trying to get in. and had an issue with the magic link. But besides the magic link, I don't think the site went down. Yeah,
There's
it was
that.
good.
Yeah, so if you were watching the live stream, we're in the process of editing the videos. The ones where you saw the camera focusing on the speaker and the slides and not a picture-in-picture like the rest of them, turns out certain laptops didn't agree with our setup for whatever reason. So the team made the executive decision, like, this is just how we have to stream this for now. And we'll be able to clean that up and post a little bit as far as the picture-in-picture, except it's the picture of the speaker. The slide will be clear on the screen, but it's going to be a faraway shot of the speaker, unfortunately.
I see we already got a blog post from one of the speakers.
Yep. Dwayne does a really good job speaking. Speaking on security, I saw one of his 2 talks. I can't wait to go watch the other one on secret management, but really enjoyed listening to him.
Is TitleBot not running? What?
Oh, speaking of, I like the new opening you did where you start up the bot, even though you didn't start up the bot this time.
I'm pretty sure the bot is
I noticed that.
running. That's always been there. I just made it a larger.
No,
I just made it larger.
It used to be generic code, I thought. I don't know.
Interesting. The bot does appear to be running. I don't know why titles.
Nobody's suggested one yet.
Well, Code Lorax just asked if it was running. I assume they had suggested a title.
Yep, it's running.
Yeah. Cool. Yes, it's running. All right. Dwayne was one of the speakers. I have not read this blog post. I don't know if you've read it, John.
No, Corey just posted that in Discord, so I put it in Trello so that we could have it in our show notes.
Speak on it. Yes. Dwayne, I don't know if you remember the story, and of course John kind of put it together at the conference this year, but Dwayne was the person I ran into at Scale here in Southern California, and I walked up and me just being like so PHP tech focused, I see him and I'm like, Dwayne, hey man, I'm looking forward to you speaking at Tech. Not even taking in consideration that he's getting ready to talk at Scale, because he has a talk at Scale, and I guess he was getting ready to walk into that talk. And I say, I'm looking forward to your talk at Tech. And he just blank faces me. He goes, I'm not talking at Tech. And then I had that terrified look on my face, like, oh, yes, you are. And then, of course, he didn't put together, I was talking about PHP tech, and I wasn't putting together that he was at Scale trying to talk. And there was just a moment of pure terror on my part. It was fun. Fun little exchange. So this will be in our show notes. His blog posts, I assume, of his experience will be at our blog post. Awesome. That was completely wrong. His blog post of his experience will be in our show notes. Holy God. Words are hard.
The Code Lorax said, we didn't mention this previously. If you want to suggest show titles, ! Title space, and then your title suggestion in our Discord. We always choose one from a listener. And then our thumbnail editor makes one.
The thumbnail editor, not so much. Not since moving to the 3:00 time frame.
I want my license back.
I know. See, a lot of people got to meet the current wife, which was fun. I think it's one of the only reasons the current wife actually attends is just to be able to meet people. She's more of a hands-on person. So I we did have a couple of last minute people pull out, not to any fault of their own, just family
Last minute
emergencies came up.
speakers. Last
Yeah.
minute speakers had to bail.
Yeah. So J-Mac from Laravel Schiff filled in a couple of slots.
And TJ
And
Miller.
TJ Miller popped in. Yeah. Popped in,
So-
did a couple of slots.
So to me, that was like the smoothest recovery from having a speaker back out that I think we could have had.
Especially the last one where we're talking to somebody and they said,
on
you know,
Monday.
sorry to hear about the speaker. And we're like, what?
Oh, I'll let them reach out to you on, so I immediately am writing to them on Discord. What's up? What's going on? Tell me. And then they said, oh, family emergency. I'll call you later. I'm like, don't call me. Take care of your family. If everything's fine, we'll deal with it. Like, that's all I want to know is, yep, something happened and you weren't going to be there.
Yeah. So yeah, that all happened, went pretty smooth. I will say, so it's cool, right? I'm not very social. I did try to spend some
No.
time. I did try to spend some time at game night, and that's where Alex took all my poker chips. I still want to get those back from you, Alex, when you have some time. But is that how poker? Is that not how poker works? But you hear conversations go on, and a lot of people want to come up and have conversations with you, which is great. We actually had time to talk to people this year, unlike last year, which I just felt like I was doing everything I could to keep my head above water. But you hear conversation. I think one of the coolest things I heard today was an attendee who normally goes to Laracon, right? They're an attendee that typically goes to Laracon. And I've actually heard this echoed a couple times from another Laravel person and then a WordPress person as well. So same content, same context, just WordPress or Laravel. But they typically go to Laracon, and they were talking about how nice it was. Like, it never occurred to them to not go to a non-Laravel conference because they weren't sure what the benefit of it was and how eye-opening tech was to just see, everything that's going on in the world of PHP, see some of the solutions that people are working on in the broader PHP world, and realizing, oh yeah, I can actually apply that to the work I'm doing in Laravel. And they were just talking about how beneficial they felt that was, that we had multiple tracks. They could kind of get go see what they wanted to go see, and it was nice to get these non platform specific. When I'm talking platform, I'm talking WordPress and Laravel, but get these non-platform specific talks with solutions that maybe they weren't thinking of on their day-to-day work with WordPress or Laravel.
So I'm quickly writing down for my ads for next year, because we always try to run some ads somewhere. The ad, the catch is going to be, you are not a Laravel developer, and hopefully Laravel developers are like, what? And be like, you are a PHP developer that uses Laravel. You should be coming to an event like this, to learn not just Laravel stuff.
hold on. Before we take that marketing angle, now we didn't do it this year, okay? But we did do it last year. Actually, did we do it this year? No, we did not. Jake Bennett gave his state machine talk, which was Laravel, not Laravel focused, but Laravel was what he implemented his state machine in, because he's a Laravel person. But last year I do believe we did Laravel talks, and the opposite can be said, right? If you're not a Laravel developer, if you're a PHP developer, but you've wanted to see, a Laravel specific talk, Tech could be that place as well, where you come to Tech to go to other PHP talks, but there are these Laravel talks. You go in there and you see these talks, you talk to these experts, you say, okay, here's what I'm trying to do in my world. How would I do something like that in Laravel? That, I think that is more a better use of conference money spent on an individual not in Laravel than just diving into like a Laracon, right?
So
Because
yes, but so when I say that, that's just one of like, we don't create just one ad. It's a bunch of ads. You're trying to get people to see something. Like obviously we would have other pro Laravel come to Tech to learn whatever. It's more about how do you get people that view themselves as a WordPress developer, as a Laravel developer, as a Symfony developer, to view themselves in the broader picture and see that there is the benefit of a PHP tech.
yeah, I can see that. Like you said, you are a PHP developer who specializes in Symfony and WordPress and Laravel, and the quicker you, not the quicker, the more you grasp that, the stronger you get in your specific field.
The framework of your choice. If you can do more than just things the Laravel way, you start learning some of these other paradigms or design patterns or whatever you're learning, you apply them to your framework of choice. Perfect. That's the whole goal, is broaden your skill set.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the concepts behind PHP World initially. PHP World, I think, was meant to have like these framework specific tracks that you were to kind of come and explore Drupal, Symfony, Laravel. And then I didn't really hold on to that because that is we tried to do that with Wave, where we had this idea of having tracks of Laravel and WordPress. Dude, it is like impossible. It's impossible to coordinate that sort of conference. It's so hard. I mean, it's hard. I don't even want to try to ever tackle that again. Dude, how long is this encoding taking? I'm wasting time. You put it on your account, so I can't even see where it's at.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Whoops.
Yeah, it's on your account.
I went to the PHP Arch account and then said create, but I wasn't paying attention to
no worries.
how I was logged in. Yeah, it's still encoding.
Oh my gosh, maybe people won't see it after all. We'll have to share it in the show notes.
Maybe I'm just dumb. Am I dumb? The
I
answer
would
is
not
yes.
Put that past you. Yeah, I would not put it past you.
Nope. I thought maybe I could open that in a browser tab, and I could not.
Okay. But yeah, all that was good. We did get a lot of feedback on the TJ Miller, Sarah Ugly. We do appreciate that. TJ and Sarah were at Tech along with Joe and Ben, and we had a conversation. What we're going to do is we're going to schedule a regular PHP roundtable that will include Sarah, TJ, Joe, and Ben, where it's just going to be us. We're not saying we won't have guests on. I mean, guests are always an option for PHP roundtable, but that's always been like the linchpin that holds up a roundtable, is finding a guest, coordinating the guest. There's just like so much involved. So what we're going to do, kind of like the Ugly format, we're just going to set a day and time where we get together and record. And if we can get other people to join us, we'll get other people to join us. If somebody can't make it, like right now with John and I, if John's unable to make it, I'm either talking here by myself or I'm scrambling to find a co-host. With that, if somebody doesn't make it, somebody doesn't make it. So we'll be fine. But so look for a PHP roundtable to start to hit a more regular cadence coming up maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. We did settle on the second Friday of the month. I don't think I've heard back on a time that works for everybody. But the second Friday of the month, if it doesn't happen next Friday, it will kick in June. But yeah, so PHP Roundtable will be firing back at it. I'm going to hit TJ up for some AI logos or something, like, kind of give it like a complete refresh of branding and see how that goes. So if you've wanted to be on PHP Ugly, because we don't have a lot of guests on this, we're not really formatted to be a guest host show. If you ever want to be on a podcast, hit me up. We'll pull you into Roundtable if you have something interesting to talk about. You are muted. Yep, I'm telling you, that whole stupid thing coming back home to roost. Yeah, you didn't say stupid. You said dumb. I just leveled you up. I apologize. So while John tries to figure out,
is that any better?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. That was scary. Yeah, so I opened Audio Hijack because I was trying to make that work, and it said I had to repair the ACE something or other. And as soon as I did that, I saw in here like disconnected mic, reconnected. So I thought everything was working, but obviously not.
Yeah, Audio Hijack definitely does not work as smoothly as it used to. I've got it working on my Mac, and it was that hole I had to reboot and drop into some mode to enable it. It's such a pain in the ass. But that's why I don't use it, because it's like it's kind of hit and miss how well it works. Not like the old days.
All right, let's talk about some RFC stuff. Did you see that the property hooks RFC has passed and will be in, I believe, PHP 8.4?
Yeah, not only did it pass, but pass with some authority, like 42 or 29 to. Nope. Am I looking at the right one? Nope, I clicked on the wrong one. This is a Git post deprecation. Sorry.
Yeah.
Where is it? Where'd you put it?
It was 42 to 2.
42 to 2, yeah. So that has got to be one of the strongest passes of an RFC in a very long time.
Yeah, I've talked to lots of people that are very excited about this one.
All right, so you need to explain it to me, because I know there's a lot of hype around it. I kind of understand it, but like, why are people so excited about this?
For various reasons. Okay, when we got constructor property promotion, that cleaned up a lot.
Promotion.
It cleaned up a lot of our boilerplate code, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to declare the variable. We don't have to then assign it to that declared variable. It's just promoted. We're good to go. So along with that, you have the public read-only property promotion, which makes it really nice to say, we don't need getters. You can just use this property, no issues. You can't use set because it's read-only. Or you can say it's a public property and you can get and set it, no issues, without having to add getters and setters.
Mm-hmm.
So what the property hook is along the same lines, except with the setting, you can now have some validation in there. So say it's a name and you want first and last name, you can make sure that there's two names in there. Or it's a age and it can't be less than 0 or more than whatever is good at this point, 120.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the oldest person is right now, but it just it's a way of saying, here's how the setter is going to work without having to have a set method. And outside of the code, I don't have to say, object arrow set age to the age. I can just use it like a property, object arrow age equals whatever, and then it runs through the validation for you right then and there. To me, that's it in a nutshell as far as cleaning it up. The other nice thing is you can add it to your interface, I believe, and enforce that anything that implements it has some sort of setter on it. Yep.
Mm.
So they have the example in there right there. The
Mm-hmm.
user. Actually, if you keep going further down where they're actually using this, you can have a hook for get, which says I'm going to concatenate first and last name with a space further down. So that's setting
First and last name with a space.
setter
Here?
right there. So you have this user object. It implements named. Named is the interface down below that says you have to give us a get on the property. So you might
Right here.
have something that implements this and you don't want to have a setter. And then you have another one where you can have a setter.
Okay.
So
with the validation, not so much the name one, but the age one kind of caught my attention. So age is one of those examples where, after speaking with you, I had started to lean towards taking objects like that, values like that, and making them value objects,
mhm.
so that I could do things like validation on them. Would you then stop doing that so much if you're using it? Uh,
It depends. So yeah, it depends. If you are passing the age around to other things, then I would have a separate value object for it. If it is just a property on your user or on some other class, I don't know.
mhm,
Not sure. It really depends on how you're using that age.
right. So you really see you really see this as like not so much a game changer, but like this massive beneficial thing.
It's getting us away from having all those function set age or function set first name, function set last name, function get first
Hmm.
name, function set get last name. It's getting us away from having all of that boilerplate function where outside of the class, I can say $user full name, right? I'm not
But
having to access it via a method. I'm accessing it as a property.
so not to start the whole framework war thing here, but I mean, this was always one of the benefits of Laravel, right? Because you could define these attributes in the user model, and it's the exact same thing. You'd get user, arrow, full name, and you if you define that attribute, you always had it available. I guess that's why I'm not feeling as impacted by this. It's like,
Well,
yeah,
but
you
you're
can
getting
already
it.
do that.
Yeah, but you're getting it through. I haven't done a deep dive into the Laravel code, but I'm assuming that is being done through magic set and magic get, and
I'm
then
sure it is. Yeah.
it's storing the data in an array and it's getting it in a different way. That is accessing your data, your table column data, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where this is not tied to not tied to a column in your database. Here you want the full name and you have first and last, and here's the rules to make it a full name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't understand you. When you said accessing your column name, are you implying you think there's a full name column in the database?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
No.
okay. Yeah, because it does. It's just like you can have a first, last, and then you create an attribute in the user model that says full name and concatenates those two. So,
Right, but you still have to define that full name as an attribute, right? And
mhm,
you have
yeah.
setters and getters or no?
No, just you just define the attribute, and the attribute handles all that for you.
But how do you define that the full name is first space last?
Because you're doing it in the user model, so it's taking whatever the columns are for that model. So there's a user first name column, there's a user last name column. So you just say this first name, very much like this first name space last name
Mhm.
is full name, or you define that as the attribute, and you return first name space last name is all you
Yeah.
do. I'll show it to you sometime. But
Okay.
this is cool. I'm not trying to discount this. I just I was struggling a little bit to understand like this isn't very difficult to do today in code, but then I always forget that I do a lot of Laravel stuff. So
Right. And they're doing it behind the scenes for you.
right.
I've heard other people say that that they're JavaScript developers, and this is how JavaScript does a lot of their setters and getters nowadays
Mm.
is through hooks like this. So it's making it very friendly to them to understand the PHP code.
Yeah, and I think Kotlin does it this way as well. And I feel like there was some other language that did it this way, but yeah. And for the record, Larry Garfield is one of the authors of this RFC.
Mhm.
Dude's talk at Tech, again, we're circling back around to Tech. We screwed up on his talk hard. He did his never use arrays talk, which he's done in the past, and that it was, of course, in the one room we decided to split so that we can add that fourth track. We had two big ass rooms, and we put them into one of the two rooms that we, split the one room we split to make two rooms, and there was like standing room only in his talk, and the standing people weren't leaving. Like they were just like, no, fuck it, I'm not fucking leaving. You can fucking leave. Get out your seat and leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely should have moved his.
Yeah, we talked about it at Tech. We tried to make a push to have people use the app and star like these are the talks I'm going to. And then when you and I sat down prior to Tech, we're like, well, let's go see how many stars everything has. And nothing had more than 15 or 20 stars. So it wasn't like people were letting us know what talks they were going to, which makes it hard for us to make decisions. So we were so burnt out at that point. We're like, fine, it is how it is. And we just didn't think about it. We really looked at the schedule and said, oh, Larry's in a small room, this is going to be bad. Like we would have known that. We just got to that point where we're like, just got to go march forward.
Yeah. It didn't help with that last minute speaker pull out. We had to do some shuffling of talks to begin with. Not that Larry was one of the ones that shuffled, but I mean, like, again, like had we noticed early in the conference, we may have taken the opportunity to move things around a little bit, but it was just like, yeah, we just messed up on it. So next year, no matter what happens next year, we're having 3 tracks so that we can have 3 big rooms. We're not going to let this be a problem next year.
Yeah.
I don't care how wrong John counts talks. We're just making some people disappointed.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get that additional room too. Or we're going to do our best to get that additional room. That'll be the Uncon talks and
look at you're already positioning to have a 4th track, aren't you? You're killing me, Smalls. Uncon was pretty crazy this year. So that's the most Uncon talks I've seen at a conference, and good talks too, which was cool. So Uncon was pretty crazy. It was the last day of the conference, and if you bought a virtual pass, you got to see the Uncon talks as well, because we had a good camera set up in there and everything. So that will be fun.
Can't wait to start editing the videos and watching.
C#, thank you. C Money coming up with the C# on the getter setter discussion. Thank you.
All right.
So let's go ahead and pull up our supporters on Patreon, which I've kind of forgotten how to do now.
While you're doing that, C Money also was talking about the RFC for the release cycle update. That passed overwhelmingly. 33. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a bunch of different votes on here. Extend release cycle to end of year got 33-0. Allowing recent regression fixes during security support, that got 30-0 in favor of supporting. Extend security support by 1 year, got 31-0 vote. And then let's see, Reduce number of RFCs to 4. I got to read more about what that is, but that was a 30 to 3 vote. Oh, what is that one?
Wow, there's
Reduce number
tons of things on
RFCs.
here.
Yeah. Disallow new features and release candidates and bug fixes. 32 to 0. I guess trying to shorten that release candidate time frame.
Whoa, that was a quick what you call it, Patreon. That's fine. We'll share. Let me share this one.
Allow features that do not require an RFC in the beta period. 34-0. Cool. Like I said, I gotta read more about that.
This is the thing. After going to Tech every year,
yeah.
Good.
It wasn't reduced RFCs. It's reduced number of release candidates. RCs, not RFCs. So it used to be 6 release candidates. It's now going to be 4 release candidates before release.
Gotcha. Yeah, every time I go to, actually, it's not even Tech. Every time I talk to Sarah, she gets me so like hyped and wanting to be part of internals. But when you go to Tech, especially and you talk to people like Derek and Sarah and others there, the internals process, it's like, wow, man, that's like it's just like so core to everything I do is like kind of because of the work of internals. And I'm like, man, I want to be a part of that, but you don't want me to be a part of it, do you? And then I have to live that nightmare all over again. No, it was fine. No, yeah, it's really cool. It's I know we talk about this all the time. I'm sorry, and we'll talk about it again next year as well. But and C Money and Sevi, if it was your first time at the conference, back me up on this. Like the people you get to interact with at these conferences is kind of mind blowing. Like people from internals, people behind frameworks, people behind packages. You had the composer people there this year. It's just mind blowing that the people you interact with at these conferences, you don't even realize who they are half the time. It's just, I love it. I hope so for the first time I got to do the opening of the conference because John hogged it for Wave and then hogged it again for last year's Tech. And I'm like, no, it's my turn. And but that was the one message. That was the one message I tried to get out there. It's like, first thing I asked, who was at their first Tech and was blown away by how many hands I saw go up. Like I really had anticipated 10, 15, 20 people raise their hand. I didn't think it was going to be so, like, I feel like it was over half the people in the room, but I could be wrong. And the thing I try to stress to them is like, just understand this is an opportunity. If you're doing this professionally, if you're doing this as a hobby, this is an opportunity that you don't get every day. It's just, the people who are here, the code that the people here have developed, the mistakes the people here have made, the problems the people here have solved. It's just engage and have conversations and you'll just learn so much. I can't sell that enough.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I shared you had a YouTube video to Larry Garfield's talk about property hooks, so I went ahead and shared that as well.
No worries.
It was I got to sit with C Money during breakfast one of the mornings.
He's a riot.
Yeah, talking about what they do. I believe it was a furniture store, and I'm like, it's amazing where PHP is used, right? I mean, I was impressed when I was doing it selling bowling balls, and it just, you can use it in so many ways, and it was fun sitting down and talking to him, and he said he told his boss something I had said, and his boss just laughed because I think they need to upgrade. And I was telling him to use PHP Stan, and just talking through things. And then
Yeah.
I was almost interrupting their stand-up, so I had to get out of there quick.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, we do hear people ask, what like we work very hard to make sure attendees have privacy. And I was actually telling John, because we do all this work to make sure that somebody can't just scan your QR code and get your information. I'm like, we were talking about solutions on how to do that. And one of the things we did this year was, well, one of the iterations we did was encrypt the data on the
QR
badge,
code.
the QR code. And John, being the security guy he was like, I'm still worried somebody will crack it. I'm like, I'm not so concerned about that, but I'm concerned, like, the QR code is like almost a black box. It's like it was so dense. I'm like, I was concerned that the app wouldn't scan it. And of course we had to have the badges, because the badges like the very last second thing we order, because we wait for these people to get their orders in. Next year we could probably do it in phases, but we had it sent directly to the hotel, so we couldn't even really test against a real badge because we didn't have them. So last second, we decided to, okay, we're going to simplify this, and we went a different route. And I'm like, I was thinking about it when I was talking to John. I'm like, it can't be that simple. Like, you can't tell me, like, I just came from Scale. There's no way my information is just on my badge. So I grab my badge and I scan it. And I'm like, yep, nope, it's right there. Like my name, my email address, it's all right there on the front of my badge. I could just been scanned by anybody. So yeah, but because of that, I sidetracked there. Because of that, a lot of people want an easy way to share information with other attendees. Like, they meet these fantastic people at Tech and they want a way to share that information. That is going to be a focus. We already have some great ideas on how to get that accomplished and keep everybody's information secure. So we are going to work on that for next year. We'll probably have a separate attendees app that you can download, and through some mechanism be able to share information.
But I want to point out that, yes, we have great ideas, but it was through conversations we had with people at the conference. Another great purpose of sitting around talking with people. And I know it's happened with other people that were there. You just start having a conversation around something you're dealing with, and then somebody else at your table will be like, have you thought about this? And all of a sudden you're having this back and forth, and
brainstorming.
Yeah, you have rubber ducks sitting around you. You have people that have great ideas and will offer you feedback. It's like, obviously not free, but close to like free, as far as you can't get that anywhere else. I mean, I say you can't get anywhere else. It's an awesome place to go to get that kind of interaction with people.
No, you can't get it anywhere else. It's only at our conference can you get that. Yeah. Your video is driving me crazy, John, and I'm seeing if I happen to have it on Google Photos, because I could have just shared it there, but I do not.
Do you have Audio Hijack set up where you can share your audio from your desktop?
I don't know, man. I don't want to mess with that. We're so close to being over with the show.
To share audio, share a tab instead. Yep, that's what it says right in there.
Yeah. Oh man. I thought I shared it. Current wife, did I share that with you in one of our chats? If I did, it would be in there, because we're a Google family and everything goes to YouTube eventually. But no, I don't see it in the chat either. I know I shared. Oh wait, wait a minute. Hold on, Smokey. Oh, Houston, we have. Okay, wait. I need to make sure I can do this without sharing information. It won't let me open it on YouTube.
Well, hang on. Let me try something real quick.
You do something. I'm going to get this embarrassing video out. Wow, it's not loading. Come on. It's in the it's in a chat with current wife, and for whatever reason, it's deciding not to load. All right. While you work on that, John, because chat does not seem to be working. If you're in the PHP world, we have another big security vulnerability thing going on here. Now, this one's weird, right? Let me share that with you guys. Share this tab, and open this. All right. So there's a vulnerability in a very popular not PHP package, but Linux package, not even Linux, OS package called glibc, right? And it turns out like there's been this vulnerability in there for like 25 years. This is not anything new, but it's been there, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all this chatter about how this is going to compromise every PHP application out there. And I'm like, I don't understand. It's not a PHP vulnerability. I guess what happens here, this all has to do with character sets and buffer overflows. And specifically with a Chinese character set, and switching over to this Chinese character set. We're going to have a lot of links in the show notes. If this is the sort of thing that interests you, I encourage you to go watch and read about it yourself. I'm horrible at explaining this stuff. I've asked our security guy to write about it in the upcoming PHP Architect magazine to clarify why this is so impactful to the PHP community. But exactly how it gets exploited is it's in chat. Oh, I got things popping up. Exactly how it gets exploited has not been revealed yet. There's a researcher who is going to reveal this at a conference, at a security conference, the 15th or whatever, where they're basically saying this is going to impact all PHP applications. And of course, everybody's scrambling to help correct this issue. So how the exploit is executed, and the reason why this problem hasn't been caught before was because it's very difficult to exploit and almost impossible to exploit remotely. And I guess PHP, in the way PHP's engine handles these Chinese character sets, completely just changed that whole thing. It has made it very easy to make this exploit happen. So again, not specifically a PHP engine exploit itself. Like, it's nothing about the PHP engine that's exploiting. It's happening through the PHP engine to exploit something else running on your system.
And only if you're using iconv, it looks like.
iconv is the specific function that has the exploit in it. Yes, so it's very niche to make this happen. Very curious to see how it gets implemented and how impactful it really is. But if you if PHP is your living, this is definitely something you want to keep an eye on. Like I said, I'm going to throw a ton of show notes in the a ton of links in the show notes, and including some videos and everything else. So feel free to go check those out. If you're in Discord, I'm sorry, I'm going to move them all over now so that I don't forget about them. The first YouTube one that says PHP under attack, is this a warning to everyone using PHP? That would be, if you're not really good with security, that's where I would suggest you start. There's another YouTube video, and then you can dive into the paper a little bit as well. All right, you got this working?
I think so. Sarah, I hope you're okay with us sharing. All right, come back over here.
Do it. Oh yeah, you got it.
We're using acapella. 1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle, you can share it. I'ma send a shout out to the host in there. Yeah, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric. He says he's
I'm
passionate.
passionate.
I'm about to break it down for you all with the clever song. Shout out to the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Shout out to John. You know they be smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot.
I love this drops of papers.
And I just flipping the papers.
PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly because it's not professional. But I'm about to come do a rest of the style, so let's do it with when I'm spitting, I'll perfume the room. Yo, with the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That comes from Thomas. Yeah, ain't nobody go beyond this. I get them like a net, I keep it like a promise. Yeah, you know, we fill them up with anguish. I'm talking about the PHP, the programming language. I'm about to break it down, no exaggeration. What y'all do for a living? Web application. Okay, I can dig it. Yo, my words very tight. They get it together on the Thursday night. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. Excuse me or there, talking broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know, my lyrics are major. All up in the comments. I got haters, what they doing, they keep it ugly. We're ending every show with the same that's ugly. Let's go. Hey, go.
The sad part is, I wonder how many people like really had no clue what was going on, because there was
I'm sure more.
There's no explanation prior to it. The funny thing is, prior to going up there, Sarah's back in the back, like scribbling down, all like trying to listen to it and scribble down all the words.
And I think it goes without saying, like, sobriety was not like a strong suit at that point. we had all been drinking a little bit, so yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So fun. Thank you, Sarah, for doing that.
Thank you very much.
Next year, make sure the audio's hooked up so we can get the.
I'm going to edit that. I'm going to get I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get the track added to the music added to their track, because it has to happen. It has to happen. It might replace Harry Mack. I don't know. It just might replace Harry Mack. At very least, I got to take the video and add her down in the corner on the closing. Oh man, Sarah! I think Sarah made a lot of friends and a few.
Sarah didn't want the backing track. Gotcha. I thought there was just confusion on the thinking it wasn't working.
All right, I think that's good. We're 4:15, man. You probably got baseball or something to go to, don't you?
No, the older one has soccer tonight, so I'm gonna help with coaching that. Assistant coaching, which is really just me showing up and helping with the drills, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you don't know what you're doing coaching baseball. I just say we did catch a couple of baseball games. That was fun. Caught a Cubs game, and the current wife and I went to the Cubs game where John and his wife were also at, and then we went and caught a Sox game after the conference. And as much as it hurts my heart, I totally understand the reasoning behind it. But for me, I enjoy the Cubs experience. I'm not a fan per se of either. I'm a fan of baseball, right? Mm-hmm. I enjoy the Cubs experience because the Cubs play at Wrigley Field, which is basically the same Wrigley Field that's always been there. You know, obviously they've updated a little bit, but the size and where's that and where's
they still have manual scoreboards, which is amazing,
right? Exactly. It's part of the experience. And I never really thought about this, and it's odd because I typically do, because I'm a larger individual. Like, I'm taller, I'm wider, I'm just a bigger guy. But the current wife appreciated going. I don't think she will care if she ever goes back. She's like, yeah, that was fun. I'm glad we did it, but peace out. First thing she's yeah. So we went to a White Sox game, and it was a very different experience. So the White Sox stadium is in the same location as the original Kaminsky Field, but it's definitely a different stadium. It's not a multi-purpose stadium, but it's it's a baseball stadium and there's nothing around it. Like there's just parking lots around it and like some apartments off the side. Whereas Wrigley Field is in the middle like of the city. You walk out, you walk to your bar or something. And as we're walking around the stadium, because we walked around Wrigley Field and we walked around the it's not Kaminsky, I forget, it's got some logo attached to it now, some brand attached to it. But we walked around the White Sox Stadium, and it occurred to me why it was such a different experience for the Kern White, because it was a modern ballpark where you could walk around the entire stadium and watch the game the entire way. And we did. We stopped in several places. We'd grab something to eat. We'd grab a beer, and we'd watch the game from wherever we were at that time. And like it didn't matter. You saw the game, much like Petco Park in San Diego, right? You can basically walk around the entire stadium, and no matter where you are, you can probably see the game. There's a couple of blind spots, but not too many. And I just realized, like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're not crowded like at Kaminsky. Like, you were walking. You know, at least I was walking in the halls like this. Like, you were like shoulder to shoulder to people, and it wasn't that. It also helped.
Kaminsky or Wrigley on that one, where you're shoulder to shoulder.
Wrigley.
Yeah.
At the White Sox Stadium, when it's modern, it's open. It also helped that it rained all day, so there weren't a lot of people there. But it's a much nicer stadium than I had pictured in my head. Like,
how far away? How far from Wrigley is it? Because I have no clue.
So from where we were at the venue, it's about the equal amount of distance in opposite directions. So Wrigley's the north side, the White Sox are the south side. The problem is with Wrigley, from the venue, you kind of go around the city, like you're already kind of over the city, and you can go to Wrigley. With the White Sox, you have no choice but to basically go through the city, and that's what ends up chewing up time, because of course the game didn't start until 7. It's rush hour. We have to go through the city to get to it. And it just felt like it was so much further. And it is like the ride home was probably faster. I know the Uber was cheaper on the ride home than it was from Wrigley. So
well, that's because we just jumped into some random car without talking about.
Well, yeah, there's that aspect of it too. No, I was actually talking about the Uber from after we dropped you guys off.
Oh, gotcha.
From downtown, basically. Yeah.
That was a fun experience.
That
we leave Wrigley Field and we're walking down the street and we're like, you want to get away from the field before you order an Uber. One, it's crowded and probably have a better chance of finding one just a little further away. And Eric made the note that, the cars with the red license plate in Chicago are Ubers. So we see a guy pulled to the side and we just, hey, are you taking rides? He's like, yeah, jump in. Never asked him about rates. We just assumed he was an Uber. I'm like, all right. So I pull out my phone. I'm trying to order an Uber and thinking they would just accept my thing right away. He's like, oh, no, we'll just go. So we start driving. We get like 2 blocks away and we ask, how much is this costing? He's like, $85. And it doesn't matter if you go 1 block or wherever you want to go. We should have had him take us like somewhere stupid far.
And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, then just take us to the hotel and I'll take an Uber back to where we're going, because screw this.
Should have.
Yeah, it was funny because I had, again, I use Uber a lot. I had already queued up an Uber when I saw people getting in. I'm like, oh, cool. We got somebody in. And I was like kind of thinking, like, that's weird. Like, now we had it happen to us after that. So my thought was, I've never called an Uber and had the Uber in front of me, but I've heard of that happening. So I'm like getting in the car and I realize, well, nobody's called an Uber yet, but I had already pulled it up on my phone. So I was looking and I'm like, okay, well, I had given the phone back to somebody who knew where we were going and put in the address. And I looked at him to get an idea of the cost. And So I knew they were taking Ubers from where we were because I got an Uber on my phone going to where we needed to go. And then he said his cost. I'm like, nope, that's not what's on here. And I was ready to engage the guy, and I could already feel everybody else in the car like, no, just let it go, Eric. Just let it go. I'm like, no, fuck this guy. No, fuck this guy. Yeah, it was. So I say that, and then a couple days later at the speaker dinner, a few of us couldn't get into the shuttle to get back to the venue. So I'm like, all right, fine. You know, there was only like 4 of us. I'm like, I'll call an Uber. And I call the Uber, and we go to sit down. I'm like, okay, the Uber will be here in like a minute. Well, it looks like it's here. Like we're literally sitting in front of the guy who had been parked there since the shuttle had been there. I'm like, yeah, no, this is the guy right here. Had we noticed it, we would have probably have beaten the shuttle back to the hotel.
Yep.
So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you're not supposed to take a car or Uber, red line to Clark Lake, and then blue line back to the hotel. Yeah, probably would have been smart if we knew where we were going.
Yeah. Well, and we were also going different locations. We were meeting somebody for dinner. John and his wife had things they had to go take care of, so we weren't actually coming back to the hotel at that point. We had stayed out pretty late. So, but yeah, the hack that was the big thing I learned this conference. I know we're running long. If you go to a tech in the future, we've always told you, hey, there's a free shuttle from the airport to the hotel. If you ever want to go downtown or to one of these events, you take the shuttle back to the airport. And you get on the L train, which is not an L train. L is an elevated. It's the train system in Chicago. But you get on the L train and you go to where you want. The big aha moment this year is that's not even the most efficient way to do it. You don't take the shuttle back to the airport. You literally walk across the street to the car rental place, and you get on the airport train there. And then it takes you to the airport, and you get to the
right by the train, right by the trains, right?
Yeah, and it runs more frequently than the shuttle at the hotel. So, yeah, I was like, "Holy smokes! Why have we not been doing this?" And,
because that car rental place is new.
Oh, is it new? Oh, has that not always been there?
From my understanding, the airport has expanded out that far to where you can take the train the airport train to car rental. I don't know how new it is, but people were doing it last year. I don't know when it was actually added.
And if you're one of these people who travels light, like with a carry-on and or a backpack, I mean, I would actually take that to get to the hotel because it just runs so much more frequently, and it's less stressful than like standing outside the airport looking, oh, is this our shuttle? Is this our shuttle? And then seeing how many people you got to fight to get on with the shuttle. So exactly. Yeah, we unfortunately could not because, you know, we travel with like equipment, and I think we went with 4 or 5 suitcases, came home with 4 or 5 suitcases, but we were able to combine 2 suitcases because we put a bunch of stuff in the trailer.
On the trailer.
Yeah. So yeah. And again, Corey did a fantastic job. There was a whole page on the tech website of things to do outside of the conference and how to get there. And we will definitely be utilizing that moving forward. All right, John, I feel like this is it. You got anything else you want to talk about? We good?
Nope. I think we're good. That was all right,
that's going to be it for episode 381. I'm Eric.
I'm John. Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some
should've just
average
played
shit.
Sarah's
You know,
again.
Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. And shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly, cause it's not professional. But I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
So since we have a few people left for the after show, a little insight. I'm not going to repeat this again because I don't want to keep hashing these stories on Tek. People at Tek have no idea how close Tek was not happening. as far as the equipment. Holy shit.
You mean this stream?
No, the equipment.
Oh yeah.
The equipment, like the equipment, dude.
No, we would have gotten it one way or another. It was
you're way more confident than I was, dude. I was like, oh my god, I was losing my mind.
I was stressed, but I didn't. There was no question in my mind. One way or another, we were getting the equipment. Whether it was back up until the story, the equipment is about 2 hours away from the hotel, and we've talked about who has the equipment in the past. He calls us up, or he messages that on Saturdays. The equipment's supposed to be there Saturday. We wanted it there just so we could, one, be comfortable knowing it was there ready to go, because we didn't really have access to the rooms until Sunday for setup. But having everything there Saturday would give us peace of mind, no issues. And he messages us on Saturday and says, yeah, my truck won't start.
Yeah, Saturday.
But this is after he was supposed to have left, and didn't tell us right away. It was more trying to figure things out on his own with it, because he didn't want us to stress about it. So he wanted to come to us and say, I have this solution, which I appreciate to a point, but I also want to be involved in, like, how do we make sure this is solved? Poor guy ends up having to pull a trailer behind a big old U-Haul, 10-foot
that's the
U-Haul box truck.
You skipped over the big one. So we had already put in motion alternative plans. And to John's point, absolute worst case scenario, John and I were driving 2 hours to get the stuff and then 2 hours back. So like it was going to be like a 4 or 5, 6 hour day, but we were going to get it done one way or the other. But we already had like solutions that we needed. And then when we wrap things up, so we had the team flying in Sunday because we wanted to get an early jump on getting everything set up. That was one of the things that we had done the previous year, 2023, where it took more time than we anticipated. Everybody was tired and cranky, and we were trying to get it done. So we wanted to avoid that this year. So we wrap up Saturdays like, hey, don't worry about it. I got a truck rented with a hitch. I'm going to pick it up in the morning.
At 9 a.m.
9 a.m. and I should be there by lunchtime, which was great because the team wasn't even getting in till around lunchtime. It's like, all right, great. We'll see you there. Thanks for working so hard on this and all. And then like 9:30 Sunday is like, yeah, there's a problem. They don't have a truck. They I know exactly what happened. The rental place was like, oh yeah, we don't have this truck, but we'll upgrade him to a nicer car, not realizing that it was the hitch that we needed. It was the truck. So he goes to pick up the truck. He's like, oh yeah, we don't have any trucks. And he's like, well, I need a truck. He's like, well, what about this? And like, no, I need a truck with a hitch. I have something to tow. And they were just like, oh, then no, we don't have anything. and I'm getting these messages in the morning, and I'm like, I'm calling my person. I'm like, hey, I know I told you yesterday we weren't going to need your help, but I think we're going to need your help again. And they're like, okay, I can be there in an hour. I'm like, all right, hold on, because now we're going to go back to this U-Haul place and try using U-Haul. But yeah, just be ready. Like, I'll come to you if I need to because they were going to let us borrow their vehicle, which had a hitch on it. And I'm like, I'll come to you if I need to, just letting you know that I still might need to borrow your vehicle. And they were very patient because I went back and forth with them for like 2 days. And it was like, hey, I need your help. I don't need your help. Hey, I need your help. I don't need your help. Hey, I might need your help. Maybe not though. Hold on. So yeah. So it was the truck did end up getting there. It was Sunday, right? Did we get it Sunday or Monday?
No, it's Sunday.
Oh yeah, we got there Sunday, yeah. And the team just went freaking ape shit on it and just got everything out and set up. It was nice.
Half the team did.
Half the team did. Yeah, that's right. We had Mr. UK who wasn't going to fly in to 9 o'clock. Whatever.
That's not what I was thinking either. Gene and I were out there busting our butt, pulling stuff in. I'm like, where's everybody at? I come back in, they were eating lunch.
Was I part of that?
I don't know where you were at. You disappeared for a bit.
I fell asleep. So
I don't blame you.
I don't remember lunchtime.
Well, it wasn't lunch because they had just flown in. They were hungry, and I get it. They went and grabbed something to eat real quick. But in the meantime, Gene had gotten there and was just like a beast unloading. So he and I would just like pull stuff in just nonstop.
Gene's funny because like the conference is wrapping up. Like we're doing the closing keynote. We're like, hey, closing keynote's getting ready to start, and starting. And Gene's like, we're closing keynote. And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay, so I can start breaking down. I'm like, well, unless you want to watch the closing. No, I'm just gonna start tearing stuff down now. Is that all right? Like by the time the closing keynote happened, he had like one room completely wrapped up.
If you're still with us, this isn't part of the actual show. We're just still talking because we're so excited about tech and
after party.
Now we need to. We're in discussions about next year.
I was telling the current wife the story, and I'll share it with you guys. After we wrap everything up, since we're just BSing here, we wanted to take the team to dinner because we didn't do that last year. We were just pushing to like the very last moment, and this year we wanted to take the team to dinner. So we got everything broken down Friday night, which is great because we actually have until Saturday noon to wrap stuff up.
Friday noon, but yeah.
Oh yeah, right. We got everything broken down Thursday night. We have everything to Friday noon to wrap things up. So everything was broken down, but it was late. And so we're calling around, and the team had gone out to this deep dish pizza place, one of the popular ones. I forget.
Giordano's.
Yeah, Giordano. And I was like, they were like, oh, well, it closes at 10. And by this time it was like 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's like, all right, well, do you guys want to go over, get a table for everybody, and order some pizzas? Because the pizzas take like 45 minutes, 50 minutes to make. And by that time, we'll be there. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. It's closing. There won't be a lot of people there, whatever. They go, and John, myself, and a couple other people follow about 15, 20 minutes later. And like the place is fucking packed. Like there are no tables.
Half of it was packed.
Yeah. And like our team is the 4 people who left before us are sitting at a table for 4, and we're like, what the hell? It's like, how are we all gonna sit at this table? And they're like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. They said there was no tables for 8. I was like, God damn it. And
meanwhile, you walk in the front door, to the left, there's this wide open area with just like 2 people sitting at 2 different tables and a ton of other empty tables.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That other side was empty?
Yeah, completely empty.
So they had pushed everybody to the side we were at? And then they wouldn't let us sit outside either because the outside was empty. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I'm hot enough. I'll sit outside. I'm fine with that. But they're like, no, the outside is closed. It's like, well, damn it. So they initially sat us at different tables. Then finally, like once the food started coming, because like I said, took 45 minutes for the food to come out. Enough people had left. We're like, hey, if you guys want to sit together, we'll push these 2 tables together. I'm like, sure. But I couldn't believe how packed, and we didn't leave that place until what, 11?
I don't even know. I didn't pay attention. I was so out of it at that point. It's just like
it was well after closing. Like they had closed like an hour and a half before.
I went back to the hotel and stayed up till 3 a.m. chatting with people. I played some chess with Michael. I think we played 2 games of chess, and he kicked my ass both times. And then just out there socializing until 3 a.m.
Yes, Mike is our resident chess expert. All right, man. Well, I'm going to wrap up. The current wife has to be at work in a couple hours, so I'm going to hang out with them a little bit before.
Alrighty.
All right,
thanks everyone for hanging with us.
Thanks everybody.